Calling all beings. Calling all beings.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Calling All Beings. It has been a little bit of a minute, but we're back with two great shows. Just got back from Massachusetts where I got to see my homie Boston Bia, Mazza Media, Deborah and Dave Holmes, Amanda and Josie Flynn, and Joe from Stoughton. Hey, you doing, Joey? Hey. So, so anyway, I'm your host, DJ, and of course, this lady right here to my left is my homegirl,
Boston Bia.
Hey! She is the one who makes this thing cool. And don't forget to be here tomorrow night for her mom's roundtable with Nan Gallagher, Meredith, Misdemeanor, Grace from Dream Feed Media. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Is that it? I think that's everybody, right?
I think that's everybody.
All right,
Five
awesome.
of us? Yeah.
What's that?
I said 5 of us, right?
Yeah, 5 of you. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, they're gonna go over unknown caller. Oh my God.
Unknown
chilling.
number, but
Unknown number.
Could
Yeah.
be a call.
It could have been called. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure she wanted to. Yeah, I can't say anything because I'm going to give it away. These ladies are going to talk about it, but it is a shocking Netflix documentary. Okay, so our guest tonight, our very special guest, is a gentleman that we had the pleasure of meeting at the Turtleboy Halloween party last October. I want to say 25th. The same night I met Boston Bia, Scott McGinnis, Dennis and Brenda Murphy,
Sweeney,
Peter Murphy. Sorry, I met Peter Murphy the same night, although he didn't come to the party. But that was the night I met Peter Murphy, right? I think they were dressed as police officers, Dennis and Brenda, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
Maybe like FBI agents or something. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Brian was dressed as Chloe, but I'm not sure. We're going to find out about
he
that.
was.
I believe he was dressed as Chloe, which I love. Nurse Kim has a background where like Chloe is sitting on a beach towel next to her, and I love it. Deborah Holmes is in the building. There she is.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. So it's an honor. This gentleman right here has been a huge advocate for Enrique Delgado Garcia. He did a billboard. He's done fundraising. He's fundraised for Karen. He's fundraised for Aiden. He's probably fundraised for Mike, for all I know. The guy just has an amazing show. He is a local personality with local flavor. And for us, it took us a while to get him on, but we are honored here on Calling All Beings to invite homeboy from Massachusetts. Party people, put those hands together for Brian LTL. Get it, amen for Brian. Yes.
What's up? Hello, how are you, DJ Bia? Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Welcome.
Been a minute on the streets of Dedham since I last saw you.
Yeah, welcome, man. Look, the guy's handsome. The studio looks good. I look like a ham and egger next to this guy. On a roll. Anyway, welcome, Brian. It's great to have you here. We are going to hit upon all the cases tonight. You know, Karen, I really want to hear your thoughts on Sandra. Obviously, this redux of that with how they're handling Kelsey Fitzsimmons and denying her bail. And I guess a higher court upheld the decision of the lower court troll, who seems very much like Bev Canoni. But before I do that, and before we get into the cases, I'm quite curious myself, without you doxing yourself or giving details that are just a bridge too far. Can you tell us a little bit about you and who you are?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, apparently I wear a toupee now, so that's the new
I've
thing.
seen your hair in
great.
person. I can vouch for you. I can vouch for you. He grew it. He used to shave it and he grew it out, and that's all him. I've seen him
So
in
I'll give you the
person.
story. Yes, and it's nice to see. I see Debbie here, and I see a couple of people here that jump. Tammy's here, people that come over and frequent my chats too. So it's very nice to see them. So I'll give you the story. Like, can we start the hair story? Okay. So I used to have my hair shaved like DJ, like just bald, right? Like bald. Basically, what happened was, what was it? 2020. We had COVID-19. And my hair was really long and it just kept growing and growing. And I'm like, I need to get my hair cut. So I tried cutting myself and no. So I screwed it up. And I was like, you know what? I don't know how long this coronavirus thing's going to go for. I don't want to keep having to like try to cut my own hair. I'm just going to buzz my hair. I've had a buzz cut before. So I buzzed it down, took it down to the skin. And then after I just started razor shaving it. And I was just like, all right, I'm saving a bunch of money on haircuts. Well, after about four years of doing that, this past January, I was like, I'm just going to start growing it back. So but apparently I wear a toupee now. I'm like, it's not a toupee. Like,
I know. And you actually do have a full head of hair. Like I said, I can vouch for you. I saw it in person.
Listen, I have male pattern baldness. You know, I wore hats my whole life. I'm 47 years old. You know, but anyway, I just think it's funny. Now what I do is you've watched Goodfellas, you know, Maury's wigs. So now I say that Maury, I play the little Maury's wigs clip and I'm like, that's my new sponsor. So go see Maury if you need a personalized fitting.
I love it.
But no, I don't know. Boston born, Boston raised, lived in, was born in Waltham, Massachusetts. I have 8 great uncles that all went into World War II at the same time, all came out alive, became firefighters for the city of Boston and the city of Waltham. So I have a huge military history in my family. Lived out in Waltham when my parents were still together. We eventually moved out to Hyde Park, lived out there. My parents separated, and I live down in the southern hemisphere of Massachusetts now, and I've been here since 1988. I'm very close to Canton and Dedham. And I don't know, I started my channel during coronavirus, and I kept saying, you know, I want, you know, for years I kept saying, I want to start a channel. Everybody says that. I want to start a channel. And then I just had the opportunity to start doing it. I was in the watch industry for about 16 years. So a lot of my content that was on my channel before, which is now hidden, but I go back and watch some of it sometimes, was luxury watches. I talked about luxury watches. I was in that business for a while, and then eventually turned it kind of into a car channel. And, you know, I've always been interested in true crime and watching the First 48 and Cops, and, you know, growing up and watching those shows, and always being interested, you know, about you know, serial killers and stuff like that, and just always reading stuff like about that. Not that I am one. But anyway,
this is very good to know. That's good.
And then basically what happened was back in 2022 was the Idaho 4 case. And I kind of made that turn and started doing a lot of, you know, talking about that case and investigative work. Just like I mean, that was the case that captivated the whole nation, and did a lot of work in that. And I think I was rolling with that for maybe a year and a half. And then one day someone came into my chat and basically started talking about Karen and said, hey, you live in Massachusetts. Have you ever heard about the Karen Reed case? And I went, no, I haven't. And they're kind of typing along and telling me, and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And I remember hearing initially about it when it happened, but it wasn't that big wave on the map. It was just kind of a blurb. We memory bank it. And then, you know, someone came in my chat, and I still to this day, I try to go back and find that chat, the stream where someone was chatting on the chat replay, but it would just take hours. But anyway, I heard about it. And I ended up finding the probable cause affidavit. This is even before I'm in the Facebook groups, anything like that. Probable cause affidavit. I read through it and I went, wait a minute. Something doesn't seem right here. This is like really strange. And then started, you know, researching it more, finding out more details about Karen's case. And that literally led me to Canton Cover Up, part 1.
Let me ask you
Sure.
one thing. When you say something seems strange, what was it that first thing that seemed strange to you?
To me, it was just like all these people are at the house and no one's, all these people are at this house and no one's being questioned or asked anything and no one knows nothing and no one saw John. I'm like, this is just weird. And I've always said this too. If that happened to me, if I was in that situation, the first thing that my mother or father would do is go to 34 Fairview and do this.
Yeah.
Hi, I have some questions. What happened to my son? And no one did that. So again, it led me down to the Aiden story. I did a couple more live streams on it, and then 2 weeks later, I was very honest with Aiden. I said, I'm new. I'm learning about the case. I'd love to have you come on the channel. And I think we did like 2 hours. It was a great stream.
Wow.
And he educated us and he educated my audience at that time about Karen's case. And here we are. We're 2 trials later, and now an upcoming civil trial. And now I'm on Calling All Beings talking about it. So
Nice. And I think there's an untold story that not a lot of people know how you helped Aiden when he was in jail. Do you want to
Yeah.
share
Oh,
that?
please
How
do.
you connected?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Aiden went into jail. Obviously, we know about his case, and basically at the time, I don't know how the contact happened, but I was in touch with someone, or someone reached out to me, or I might have got a contact and reach out to one of his inner circle contacts, and I said, "Look, the guy's away in jail. If you need some help, I'd love to help on his channel. I don't want anything. I just want to help out and keep creating content for him." And I started coming up with like some ideas, and I know Laura, his social media, she does all her thumbnails and stuff. Her and I were bouncing ideas back and forth, and it was funny. We came up with the first show I did was because I was like, I don't know what to do. So I started researching his channel. I knew who he was because I used to follow him when he used to talk to Jerry Callahan a lot. He had a spot with Jerry Callahan. I knew about all his exposing political corruption in the state, but I didn't know him. So I went back and started looking at his channel. I said, damn, wouldn't it be great to go back and show people, where he was and where he came from and where he is now on his channel. So we came up with this idea of I think we called it Back to the Future. And I went back and we found hilarious clips of just pieces in his live streams. And we mapped all this out. And Laura and I used to map all the shows out. And I went live on his channel and they fucking hated me. Because I'm not Aiden. I'm not Aiden, but I just wanted to keep
none of us are.
I just wanted to keep the channel current for the guy. Let's just keep creating content. And I think we did that for 7 to 8 streams. By the last stream, people were very appreciative of it. They loved it. And it was a great opportunity. And I was very, very thankful that Aiden trusted me to do that. And again, I just wanted to help him out. I always wanted just keep content going on his channel and just help out as much as I could. So
that is, that's kind of like what friendships, a lot of people have very transactional friendships in our business here of YouTube. And that show speaks of a non-transactional friendship of someone that really cared and took of their time. And that's admirable, to say the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity. And, like I said, if this ever happened to anybody else and they needed help, I definitely would help them out, So
like we're trying to help, raise funds for Mike. I think this lawsuit is going to die on the vine.
I do too.
But when he asked for help, I mean, we're going to be there, for any of you guys. There are a couple of people out there that are kind of the attacking kind that have kind of done some things that are kind of not in line with what my values are, and that's fine. I'm not gonna help them out, and nor are they gonna reach out to me, so I don't care. What I wanted to ask you, though, something that you brought up earlier that I thought was really interesting, is myself and a lot of my friends in our content creator business and in the chats have said, well, it goes without saying, beyond any doubt whatsoever that the police officers would have gone and knocked on the door of, I want to say this clearly, anyone that John O'Keefe's body was found on. Anyone. Unless it was like John Gotti, I mean, or, you know, what's the other guy, the Irish mobs, Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, Whitey Bulger.
Beyond, very specific folks. And there's Brian's YouTube right there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And we can pin that at the top of the chat as well. Beyond that, nobody though has mentioned about the O'Keefes going to the Alberts except you. What do you think about that?
The O'Keefe's going to, I'm sorry?
Not going there. As you said the O'Keefe's, if it was my son or my brother, I would have been going and knocking on the Alberts door. Hey, WTF, what happened here?
Yeah.
What is your take on that specific thing you mentioned and the O'Keefe's writ large?
Yeah, I think, obviously we know that that narrative was being set prior to all this. I mean, it took off pretty quick, and the story was spun by Jennifer McCabe very quick to get into Peggy and Paul's ear. Look, I don't really, I have to look at it this way, and I don't really have an ill will with the O'Keefe's. It's just my question to them is, you sat through 2 trials. Okay, you decided to roll with those people, and you know who we're talking about, the people at 34 Fairview. These are the people you decided to roll with. This is a story that you believe. This is a story that was told to you and you believe. So you rolled with that story. You rolled with that, and you rolled with what Proctor's investigation. Okay, so you're rolling with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just sat through trial 1. Okay, you literally just sat through. So trial 1 was exposing the McAlberts. Okay, we can agree on that. That's what trial 1 was focused on. Okay.
Yep.
Trial 2, you have the scientific aspect of it now. Love trial 2. That's trial 2. I love nerdy math and shit like that. So I'm like, oh, bring it on. And I kept saying, like, no, like next time in trial 2, you've got to show the experiments. You have to show this proof to people. And I loved it. They brought it. Arca brought it. It was great. And then we had Blue Paint Man. But you have that. Okay. So you're telling me that you're going to believe Blue Paint Man over the people that literally calculated information, put it into a math problem, solved that problem, showed velocity, and so on. It actually used actual real testing scenarios, but you're going to believe Blue Paint Man. I don't get it. And you literally watched scientifically prove that John was not hit by Karen's SUV. Karen didn't make any contact with John. And here you are after trial 2, and now you're still going to roll with that. And you're now going to civilly sue Karen. I don't know how the hell you can sit there and not in the back of your mind have some sort of
reasonable doubt.
Maybe she didn't. Yeah, maybe she didn't do it. Like, thank you. That's like
that's
how
the
do you
word.
sit there and say maybe she didn't. But it's like, I think that they're so, and maybe they do. Maybe they get in the car and they're driving down the street together. You know what? Maybe we should fucking do it. But you know what? Now to save face, we have to keep this narrative up, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna try to civilly sue her and XYZ. And it's like, I feel that they have the opportunity now to turn around and sue them. Sue 34 people at 34 Fairview. You have your opportunity now. Turn this around and go after them and ask for the answers that we all know. We all know. We figured it all out. And what I mean, all these respected channels that have picked up and done any content on Karen Reed, I'm very happy that a lot of people did this, because obviously Aiden broke the story, and then we all came along and helped kind of carry and cultivate that torch. And anybody that
can't
was
do it
involved,
alone.
of course, but anybody involved that had a platform at that time, at this time in doing this, bravo, kudos to all of you. Look at, and I'm going to go back to, what you said a couple of minutes ago. We might not all jive, but we all did our part. We were all kind of one at once. But anyway, you know, and I'm losing track here, but it's like you had the opportunity now to go after the McAlberts. You're not doing that. And honestly, I think in this civil trial, 1, 2, 3, I think you get your ass handed to you again. I'm sorry to say, I really do. And you know, because Karen didn't do it. So
Right.
Nan
And
is I'm sorry, go ahead, be it. Nan's bringing it even when she's not on the show. Go ahead. She's gonna be on tomorrow night
Right.
though.
Yes. No, what I was going to mention too. Okay, so let's just even take it one step further. Why not show up at the O'Keefe's, show up at the FBI, as you know, the Moakley building, and be like, "How are you giving me? How did you hire? Like, what happened? You hired Arca. Explain to me how it wasn't Karen Reed, and explain to me who did this to my son."
Yeah.
So you know, because they independently investigated the investigation. So if anybody would make, I mean, I'm not saying I don't know if they did or didn't, but do you think to clear it up, they could have shown up at the FBI office?
I just find it very interesting that you don't have questions. Like, I don't know. There's a whole house full of people and you don't have questions for them. That's a little weird to me. Like, it just seems fucking weird. My mom would, like, God bless my mother's soul. My mom can't drive. She's legally blind, but I'm telling you, she would find someone the very morning and be over at that house knocking on the door, probably pushing her way through the door and going, "Who's going to tell me what happened here last night? Tell me everything." I think it's weird. And then it's like, no, we're going to all sit down. And now the mom's saying, get a piece of paper and write out your stories and get them straight. What
Yes.
the fuck is that? Like,
yes. And force the Alberts to try to
your
throw
story
them out of
straight.
Brian to be like, "You're gonna have to go now, Peggy. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Here's the door." Shoving her out the door. You know, honestly, what I think it is, to be honest with you, I think I can answer the question. I think the answer is that if you look at our country as a whole, this trial in this case is a microcosm of the entirety of America.
Yeah.
That we are so incredibly polarized that you can show someone provable, factual, empirical evidence of something, but if their political or social beliefs are to the contrary of whatever you're trying to show, blah, 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 I don't believe you. I don't see it. I don't buy it. And that, I believe that's what you're seeing here, is that people can believe something so strongly, you can provide them evidence that is as close to irrefutable as this was, as close as possible. And they're going to go, "I don't believe it. She did it." I mean,
it's just,
how do you,
it's just like, you know, walking outside and going, the sky is blue. And then someone said, look up, and they go, no, it's yellow. And you're going to debate that. Or you debate Bigfoot, or you debate the moon landing, you know, just everything that people are going to debate. You know, are aliens real? And I know that's a big thing.
Oh, we gotta have Brian on for a Bigfoot and UFO episode, baby.
I was
you
like,
heard it here first. Yes.
But I mean, those are the things that people debate, and you have the hard evidence, the hard facts. Listen, I'm a science guy, so if you're showing me science and physics and data, and I don't know if you ever saw my video with Plevin when we were going back and forth, and I asked him, "Oh yeah, it's a great little video. You haven't seen that?"
I have not. No, I try to ignore
it. We can play it.
Okay, I'm down for that.
It's a great video.
All right. Okay. Let me go to your channel. Yeah, we can get that in there.
I'll find it and drop the link for you.
Okay, cool. Because we have to play one for Mikey. You guys don't forget, Mikey's friend was arrested in Portland at a protest of ICE today, and he wanted me to play that link. And so when you guys are ready, we'll get to that. We'll also, like, around when we get to Kelsey. So yeah, but yeah, I'll put up your episode as well. That would be great. Oh, Hera, my cat, came up on here. Come on, this is Mazza's thing, not me.
But you know, it's like I asked him, because he was talking about, you know, science and data, and I looked at him because he always, you know, Plevin always says, well, you know, Karen hit John and whatnot, and you know, I asked him, do you believe the Earth is round?
Oh,
and he was
I remember
fearful. And I said, come on, you know, like, and he was trapped. He was caught. And unfortunately got broken up by a state police officer because he thought we were fighting. And I'm like, no, we're just having a healthy conversation. But
yes,
it's pretty funny.
I remember that. It was outside of court.
I got it. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, let's
see
yeah,
it.
put it up. Yeah, please go ahead and share it.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat if you want to bring
Okay.
it up. Sorry if I'm sidetracking your.
Not at all. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Okay. All right, I'll bring it up here.
He said, "Oh no, the Earth is spherical." I'm like, "Come on, Kevin." And then he was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, he goes, "It's Brian, right?" I go, "Come on, dude, you know who I am."
Yeah.
Like, you watch me.
Hey, are you is it Brian?
Yeah,
Here we go. All right, you guys ready? Here we go.
yeah.
Did you originally believe that she was innocent before you changed your mind? Is that
Yes.
true? Okay.
Well, let's put this way. I lean that way.
Okay.
Okay,
You
because
lean that way.
so
Then he fell off the fence.
So the evidence that came out was for me as far as was Turtleboy's article on April 18th of 2023, right, last year, and in that first article, there were things that I thought were a little bit absurd, like the idea of 11 people in the house staying quiet, or the idea of putting someone to die out on your own lawn. Didn't really make sense to me. However, 227, I'm like, if that's true, then something happened, right? So I kept asking questions, but because I didn't know nothing about data back then, I'd never studied forensic data or anything like that, so I was like, it must be just true, right? Then we got to the first hearing, maybe in May or June, where Adam Lally said, no, the state disputes that, and we have our own independent expert that said there was no 227 search. So now for me, I'm like, all right, now it's 50-50, it's up in the air. I got to start digging harder into the evidence, which I did, and what I found was what seemed improbable before in terms of timelines, in terms of the opportunity to tamper with the vehicle and plant evidence, now became close to impossible. There just wasn't an opportunity to do it. The main pieces were found at 5:45 at the crime scene. There was a news truck there setting up for an hour. There was the CERT team.
Hey Kev, I just want to ask a question to Kevin in absentia. Are you aware that Sergeant Nicholas Botto said that there was a crack in the taillight and one piece missing, and then the photo they showed in court was totally destroyed? Do you think like the wind from the tow truck just destroyed the taillight? Just saying, just one question for you. All right, let's go back to it.
Yeah, it's coming.
From the state police, that was all at 5:45. And the earliest that I thought back then that the SUV could have been towed there, because we knew it left at 4:18, thanks to the images that Karen gave Turtleboy. We knew that the earliest it could have got there in the storm was maybe, 5:15, and we now know that it got there at 5:31 and didn't pull in until 5:36. That left no time to tamper with that evidence. And for me, understanding the timelines was how I knew that there could be no conspiracy. I'm not connected to the other side. I don't have any cops in my families. All I cared about was the truth. And that's still all I care about.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you believe the Earth is round? No, I'm serious.
No, do you? I mean,
Absolutely.
This really seems like the flat Earth side of things.
I'm
You
just
guys
asking
reject
you,
evidence.
Do you believe that the Earth is round?
The Earth is spherical.
Okay, then how do you deny our fact?
Oh, great word.
All right, no, ask Brian. It's Brian, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian, ask it, but
you know who I am.
but
Come on, Pat. You know who I am.
I'm trying to be respectful.
I know.
Ask,
You know who I am.
ask the question in a respectful way.
I did.
All right? No,
Do you
but
believe that the Earth is round?
that's not respectful. All right? I'm happy to clue you in and
We're
answer the
talking about
question and make an
physics.
argument for you if you want.
About physics. So if you deny that the Earth is round,
Do you have a physics degree?
No, I don't, but you don't either. But you just said, as I start looking into the forensic science, so all of a sudden you're a forensic scientist?
The ARCA guys, let me answer her. The ARCA guys are absolutely
We're not asking about them. We know about them. We're asking about you.
He just asked me about the ARCA guys.
Yeah, do you believe them?
No.
Are you serious?
Would
you
you like-
deny physics?
Are you
I
going
believe
to
blue
answer?
paint.
Are you going to give me a chance to answer? If you're going to ask me questions, give me a chance to answer. Okay. All right. Do you want me to answer or not?
Of course, I
Is
wanna
that
hear
really
it.
what you want? Because everybody's going to keep interrupting. All right.
Come on, Kevin. We're on
The
peaceful
ARCA
ground.
got the engineers from ARCA are absolutely 100% qualified. Yes, they are probably some of the best in the world. That company is absolutely, that's what they do, is
But-
accident reconstructions.
I'm waiting.
The issue is credibility. Okay, they were not telling the truth. They were acting like defense witnesses, and the proof of that is the fact that they did not get the vehicle data. They didn't ask for it. The feds didn't give it to it. This is like having a pathologist do an autopsy without the body.
The
It doesn't
feds
make
didn't
sense.
have
You
it, dummy.
get the vehicle data.
So
they
wait,
didn't get
hang on.
They have on their website an article published in 2021 that shows they are experts in tech stream data, but yet they didn't ask for it. So they had no vehicle data. How could they possibly know? So they're
Well, the military.
they're setting up tests, right? Let me just
Yeah, go
finish
ahead.
up real quick.
I
then
wanna
I'll let
ask
you
you
go.
a question,
Okay.
a follow-up
They're
question.
setting up a test where they're making up a gun to fire a cocktail glass, all right? Don't you think it would be important for them to know the speed of the vehicle? The only way to know, that's physics. That's physics, brother,
What do you
okay?
think about the
If you
curve
want to
on the
know,
road, though?
let me just finish up. If you want to know the speed of the vehicle, the only way is with the vehicle data, and they didn't ask for the vehicle data, so they were never after the truth. Never.
So hang on 1 second. I got a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So you don't believe ARCA, but your reconstruction is
You
correct,
gotta go to
right?
either side.
Which
You're
reconstruction?
blocking the
Your
side.
video that
Sorry,
you
yeah,
did.
broken out. Let's go on this side.
But see, this is what I mean. Like, everybody was just back then. It was just, we were
Yeah,
all there
totally.
for common cause, and those are things that we can kind of poke fun at through all this, and it just I don't know. It brings back, as much as it's a tragic situation, obviously for John and Karen, and look, and even the O'Keefes. I mean, they lost someone. We have a bunch of people that are lying, and but those are the moments, the togetherness. But anyway, I digress.
No, I agree. I think what you're pointing out is that was the best of times, and right now we're not in the best of times. I do want to thank NH dude. Hey, thank you very much. You rock as well, and happy hump day to you. Thank you very much for your dono. The legendary Scott McGinnis is here, that he's in search of justice for John O'Keefe still. Yeah. Yeah, so are we, as it turns out. So I'm glad we're on the same side now. And as I said from the beginning, I said Kevin also believes Karen's innocent. He's playing this role because he wanted to become a successful YouTube star.
Villain.
And Kate, no, he wanted to get the other side. Well, certainly if Turtleboy and his crew and everybody has this side, well, I'll go to the other side and get all the antis. And Kate also believes in that Karen is innocent. She's just doing this for money. She is a special kind of a sick, I think, in her advocacy.
DJ, there's no way you can't. I mean, looking at all of the facts and the evidence that were laid out in front of us in two trials, to sit there and say, and I laugh about it. I even see comments on my channel too, still like, oh, now she killed him. She ran him over. Really? Did you watch any of the trials? Did you watch any of the hearings? Like, where have you been on this planet for the last almost 3 years?
Well, what's the pivotal evidence? Like I said, if you believe Sergeant Barros, who doesn't have a stake, he couldn't care. He couldn't give two shits about the Alberts, Morrissey, Proctor, any of the. He's not afraid of the state police. If you want to talk about a true hero in this case, there is one person who has zero fear of any of these players, and he's still an active sergeant in law enforcement, and that is Dighton Sergeant Nicholas Barros. He could not care less.
And I've been doing some follow-up, trying to find the tow sheet. I actually just got his report and his comments. It wasn't as detailed, but he did note on his report that the taillight was damaged. Now, what I'm trying to do now is, I'm sure, because we found out that he had a call with Proctor and Buchanan that day, I'm sure that was on a recorded line.
Yes.
So I actually now have FOIA request that conversation. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but we're going to find out. And it might take me 3 years because by the time that the state police get back to me, but I'm digging more into this because I want to know more. I want to know what the conversation was. I want to hear the conversation, just like when I got and released the body cam footage. I think people needed to see that. I got a lot of positivity. I got probably 98% positivity that I released that, and people wanted to see it, to see what happened in those moments. Be transparent. Let people know. Look to see how Karen was treated during those whole episodes. But I'm still digging. I'm still going to dig and find things.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
And I think you're going to find more than one phone call, because they called him. Proctor called him initially. Then there was another follow-up conversation when he got to town. So I think there's going to be a few in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to dig around and see what I can come up with. It takes the MSP months to get back. Like the body cam footage I put in for almost a year ago,
Wow.
and they got back to me and said, well, we can't release it because it's part of an active trial. And I get that. But the good thing about it is they listed all the body cam footage that they had. So I made note of it. And then once the trial was over, the day the trial was over, I resubmitted that FOIA request to get it. I mean, granted, it took me 4 or 5, maybe almost 6 months to get it, but I ended up getting it and releasing it. So I wanted people to know. I wanted people to see it. I don't want to see Karen in that light, but it's a reality of this case. I mean, we know she was handcuffed. She was brought to a barracks. Her arm was handcuffed. It's the reality of this case. I mean, we can't ignore it. It's part of the case. It's something horrible that she went through, but people needed to see it.
Yeah, that's I had heard through the grapevine that I guess her parents hadn't seen it until you released it, and unfortunately, you're doing journalism, and sometimes things get put in the media that is maybe for a greater good, and so yeah, man, you did the damn
I did
thing,
not. I can
so.
tell you, I did not get 1 ounce or piece of backlash. I didn't hear one complaint.
Good.
Nothing.
Good. That's good.
Honest. I didn't hear one. No one reached out to me and said, take it down. No one reached out to me and said, I can't believe you did this. Nothing.
And she has your phone number, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Because you had dinner with her.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not talked to Karen since the last message I sent her was the day she was acquitted. And I said, now you're free. And I think she read it and liked it. And that's really it. I mean, she can go on with her life now. And that's it.
So, this is going to be kind of a clunky transition, but it's part of a discussion that Boston, and by the way, Boston Bia, just jump in whenever I'm running my mouth too much. We had a little bit of a discussion. Sure, I will. Don't worry about it. You don't have to say nothing.
You don't have to ask me twice.
No. But the transition is in this form that they, the Massachusetts hierarchy, be it some combination of the police, the DA, and in this case, the judge. In this case, I don't remember the name of this, the dirtbag judge in this case, that is trying to see if she can top Judge Bev as like the evil ice queen, in some sort of in some sort of Narnia, like Melanie Little alludes to. And they ruined this woman's life. Like now, Karen, even if she sues, let's say she gets $15 million. I'm just going to throw a number out there. Let's just say she sues a number of people and gets $15 million. That is not going to rebuild her life. And now with Kelsey, I dare say, Brian, they have started the ruination of her life because now she doesn't have her baby. She's now in jail. How's that going to look to any police agency that she were to apply to? And she lost her relationship. So they're ruining another. Are you seeing a trend here?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about Kelsey's case. I know, like, I've followed a little bit on X. I've been kind of wrapped up in a lot of the cases that I've been following on my channel. So I only have seen what I've seen on X. I don't know the full details of it. So maybe you guys can educate me.
Bia will. Go, take it away, Bia.
I know Mike has done a lot of really great work on the case and really has rallied for that. It's something that I didn't pick up in time, and I'm very, very much behind on it. And I think that you all that have been talking about it have done great work on it, like really, really good work. And I do see stuff on X, and I've caught some of Mike's shows, but I'm completely, I'll be honest, I'm behind on it. So.
And I actually just think this case is just getting started. I mean, this just happened back in July. So we're a couple, 3 months into this. So, I mean, I think there's definitely going to be a lot more that comes out of it. She was
involved in a shooting, right? Can you just tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was that the weekend before they were due to get married in October. It was a couple that the baby now is 7 months, but at the time he was only like 4 to 5 months. So they had a baby. They went away on a bachelor and bachelorette weekend. I guess there was some
Mhm.
arguing.
Yeah.
They were drinking and but nothing happened. They went on their way. And then he called her on a particular day. Let's meet at the park. I want to talk to you. She went with the baby to the park, sat there for 3 hours. He never showed. She went back home, and as she's sitting there feeding her baby, she gets a knock at the door.
Mhm.
Ex parte, he went in and got a restraining order, and they were there to serve her with a restraining order and to take the baby taking the baby away.
Got it.
So,
Can I
and
just break in
Sure.
from with and the most important part, what Bia just said, ex parte. She did not get to come and defend herself.
right.
Please take
Okay.
it with you.
Right, because I mean, he just showed up, gave a statement, and they took action. She was a North Andover police officer,
Yep.
and her fellow colleagues, there were 4 police officers showed up at her door. Now, she had just been released, cleared to have her guns back, to go back to work. She also did suffer from postpartum depression, which is not a crime, in case nobody knew. And she was getting help for it. She was seeking help, and she was on her way. She had been cleared to go back. Now, there she is feeding her baby, gets a knock at the door. They're said, we're serving you a restraining order, and you're giving us the baby. She then allegedly, the story goes, per her words, we actually read it last couple weeks
Last
ago.
show. Yeah.
Yep. So she went upstairs. One of the police officers followed behind her. And I guess at that moment, she just kind of felt like, I lost my baby. I lost my career. I lost everything. And allegedly, she pointed the gun at herself.
And her
However,
fiance too.
no, her fiance wasn't there.
No, but she lost him too because
Oh, I'm
essentially,
sorry. Oh,
if
yeah,
he's
losing,
filing a
yeah.
restraining order,
Correct.
she's like, I lost my fiance,
Yeah.
I lost my career, and I'm
Yeah.
losing the most precious thing in the world to me and my baby.
Correct. And so I guess his story is she pointed the gun at him and he shot her. And her story is she was pointing it at herself. Then the baby was handed off to the father. She was airlifted to Boston, where she was there for 53 days. And yes, the fiance was there. There wasn't anybody from DCF. There wasn't a de-escalation. There was no, nobody there for support for her. There wasn't a female officer. The baby was just taken away by these cops and handed to the father. And anyway, so that all happened on the second floor. She was airlifted to Boston, spent 53 days, finally is able to go in front of the judge, and they released her. And with the ankle monitor, and she had to do the scram test because
She damaged her. I'm sorry to cut. She did something to her lungs, right?
She
well,
the
she
chest.
got shot in the chest.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I just want to cut in one thing. And
Sorry,
it's always a great idea when you're telling someone to turn over their weapon to just go, hey, in the bedroom, go get your weapon. That's always a good idea because
They knew.
there's so much predictability there, right? Like
Right.
as soon as they grab their weapon, you don't know what's going to happen. And the other thing I want to say is the officer saying he pointed at her, what the hell else is he going to say? There's nothing else. If he shot her, he has to say, she pointed at me. It's like it's a 1-for-1 trade. It's like going through a toll booth. Oh, she pointed at me. That's why I shot her.
Right.
Go ahead. Continue.
So
Boston,
now,
yeah.
she finally got released and was sent home with an ankle monitor and doing the scram device. After a few days, Tim Bradle came back because she was having such a hard time breathing into this. And it was taking her over an hour to complete the test, but she was not in violation. So they went in front of the judge, filed their motion, and all of a sudden, so they were just there to hear to see if they could do an alternative to the scram test. And instead of saying, yes, there's accommodations, Bradle tried to bring up, she can go to a facility, do a urine test, blah, blah, blah.
There's skin
And-
tests I've heard that you can do.
But that's not
skin test
available in
in
Massachusetts.
Okay.
The one, there's one that, there's one different type of scram that we don't offer here. So long story short, she goes in front of this judge, tries to, Bradel tries to argue, like, can we have an alternative? And instead, she was not there for bail revocation, but instead she was sent to jail, straight to jail for 180 days because she couldn't comply with the scram device because she was shot. And in order to protect, according to them, the community and Noonan, which was the officer, they needed her back in jail. And there she is until today. The SJC today denied the request, and she stays there for 180 days from September 11th.
And just Scott chimed in with this piece right here. SJC Justice Duar was appointed by Governor Maura Healey. Duar had never served on a judge's bench before in her lifetime. Wow. Okay.
So what are her charges?
Yeah.
No, so this is a good thing that you ask, because she was originally charged with attempted murder, but then they lowered it to
assault with a deadly weapon.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So her charges were downgraded, mind you.
So she's being held in jail for 180 days on assault and battery charge, where there's probably worse things that people are doing out there that literally go in and walk out free. Got it.
And don't forget, she was shot at. She didn't shoot anybody. Nobody got hurt as a result of her actions.
Right.
She was the one that had to be airlifted and who was in critical condition. And she's the one now having to pay these consequences when she never hurt anybody. And the only one allegedly she meant to hurt was herself. So
yes. And again, the police officer was going to say, after he discharged his weapon, there's only one thing you can say. You're either going to be super honest, which we see there's a big problem with some of the area police in doing that, or you're going to say, she pointed the weapon at me. I just want to answer. NH Dude is asking what the Chuck is, a scram device. Essentially, this is a breathalyzer like what people have in their car where there's an interlock device. It's just that the data is transmitted to, it's probably internet connected, and it's transmitted to parole or something like that. Whomever is monitoring her, likely her parole officer. So that's what it is.
And
it's a breathalyzer.
He actually testified at that hearing saying that he's witnessed her and he was there in support of Kelsey. And he was there. He testified that he's witnessed her having difficulty, that she's not in violation, that it's just taken her a long time because in order you have to, blow such a strong,
you have to blow essentially hard. It's like when you're in the hospital and you have some sort of a respiratory issue or a pneumothorax or something like that, they'll give you an exercise device where you have to blow that little ball up to the top. Well, that's really difficult when your respiratory system is compromised. So is a breathalyzer.
Why is she having to do this breathalyzer thing? It doesn't make any sense.
For no reason.
For no reason.
Basically, because they said so. Because
that's odd.
Yeah. It's
because the only talk about
alcohol. It's not like she. Sorry to cut you off. It's not like it's like it's not like a
DUI or something.
A DUI thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is she like? She has an ankle monitor, right?
Yes. She's on house arrest. She
was. Yes. 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 It like the whole thing is like we're doing this all over again with Karen Reed and/or Turtleboy.
So odd.
Brian, can you read this on the screen by Joyce Mahar? Because I'd like, well, first of all, they want to hear your dulcet tones. And second of all, it's an interesting part of the case.
It says, my friend worked for CPS and had to evaluate people addicted to H with abuse children. I do not understand why CPS did not come in and do an eval rather than taking the fiance's word for it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Again, and we just talked about this in when we were talking about Karen. Why are not people asking questions to everybody that's involved and surrounded around in a case? We just take their word for it.
Yes.
And then here we go.
Yes.
It's Karen Reed. Karen Reed did it.
Yeah. And the police are supporting a fireman. The police are supporting a fireman, not one of their very own. So there's two things so to me, the X factor is it's kind of like what happened in the house with John O'Keefe. I had to solve for X. Why didn't they call 911 if it was just an injury? So the answer to that is X. I had to solve for X. In this case, it's the same thing. Something must have happened between her and the police chief or members of the police department that they would support this fireman and not support a fellow officer. And in terms of the courts, I don't know how Bia said ex parte. I don't know how the hell what Joyce Schmehar just said. You can remove someone's child from the mother based on just his word. What evidence did he show? Did he show the Dead Sea Scrolls? Did he show the Da Vinci Code or the Shroud of Turin? What did he show them? Did he show the Ark of the Covenant? I don't know what he showed the judge. Oh, my God, go get him out of there right away.
Maybe they showed the secrets inside the Temple of Doom. I don't know.
Yes, exactly that. What Indiana Jones with the crystal skulls? I don't know. This is nuts.
I have a question here. So what happened to this officer that shot Kelsey? Is he on leave or is he active status again?
So last I heard, he was put on leave for like a couple weeks, and I believe, unless anybody, I think he's back out there.
Okay.
Oh, so he was on admin and now he's off. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he needs protection from this 5'2" woman going through postpartum that had her baby taken away.
And to top it off, this guy, she's selling her house to pay for her defense. And he's trying to get an attachment to the proceeds of her house to have 18 years of child support given to him. Like, imagine a woman can't go in and demand this from a judge, like in regular matters. But this guy, like, you don't get your child support ahead of time, like 18 years ahead of time. That doesn't happen. And he's actually trying to put an attachment on her house. They were never officially married. She owned her house before or on her own. It was in her own name. It's not like they bought it together. And now he wants to get, 18 years of child support up front.
Seems like an opportunist.
Yep. Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Most deaf. But what we're seeing right now, and I'm going to get Bia to read this in her best Boston accent. But the thing is that it's another life ruined. Before we go any further, Brian, before the trial, before we're at all the standouts and people are out front with their cell phone cameras streaming live, before all that happens, they've already ruined her life. Where's she going to go in Massachusetts now and get into law enforcement again? What is the scuttlebutt going to be? How is she going to interact in a squad room these days?
Yeah, it's a fact. I mean, and then financially, you're crushing her now too. You've now had to have her act and sell her home for her defense.
Yes. Does that sound like?
Yeah,
does that sound like
parallel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the same. History is repeating itself. You know what's so funny? Well, you know what? Let Bia stitch back to this one, and then we'll talk about one we had Mike on. But go ahead, Bia. Would you read this?
All right. The biggest issue is that they can put an ankle monitor that will test alcohol level and/or blood tests, but the judge will not allow it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like people are equating this angry judge. He has a long way to go to catch up with Judge Bev Canoni from the rented by the Nagels Cape Cod cottage all the way through no evidentiary hearings, yelling at Karen Reed, constantly yelling at her lawyers, being disrespectful to them. All the things at sidebar that they deny. That's the last thing they want is those sidebar conversations to get out. They got a long way and not dismissing the trial based on, when that judge in the Alec Baldwin trial dismissed that case based on some of that ammo not being given over to the defense. And then these guys manipulated the Sallyport video and then turned video over a year later. And it's missing, what, 42 minutes worth of footage, and none of the footage from outside the Sallyport that was turned over, probably because it showed the taillight working when he drove the car in, the tow truck driver. And by the way, I don't know if you know, they have right-hand drive cars in Massachusetts where he got out of the right-hand door. So that is just a bizarre thing. And I heard Mark Betterow speak about it when he was on another lawyer's channel, another former New York DA or something. And I don't know that woman's name. I don't know if you remember her, Bia. But yeah, he just was incredulous that they did not immediately dismiss that case. Okay, we're done here. And then all of a sudden they showed up at court the next day. He's like, what? Like there was no... So this lady's got a long way to go to get to Bev Canoni, because this woman would have been in prison for murder right now and I'm going to say this, if Judge Bev would have gotten her way. And that's what she wanted. It's what she wanted. That's how you sustain 49 objections, 49-0. Alan Jackson said, never seen anything like it.
It's insane.
She really, really gets to me. Like I did a poll, like I was trying to figure out who is the more despicable, evil human being. Is it Jen McCabe, who has familial connections to the perpetrators of this crime? Or is it Judge Bev, who's supposed to be an impartial jurist?
Yeah.
The whole purpose, the word judge, almost you could extrapolate the word judge to mean impartiality.
Yeah.
And look what she did.
It's funny. I watched the Billy Bush interview with Alan Jackson, and listen, I understand it's kind of that professional courtesy. And I know that Billy Bush asked him about Judge Bev and did he think that she was corrupt? And Alan answered it in a very professional way, because he doesn't want to criticize judges, of course, but we all know how he really feels. I'm sure behind the scene, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm pretty sure he said a couple of nice 4-letter words or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 behind the scenes during that entire 2 trials. And I'm sure he probably continues to say a couple of 4-letter words.
There's another reason though too, Brian, there's another reason. He has to go now and make arguments in front of her colleagues. You would be an idiot and a moron to say what you think about her. The same as the same as Mark Betterow. Mark Betterow will be making arguments in front of her colleagues.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those guys, once these civil trials are over, and hopefully justice is served, I am sure he will tee off on that judge in a way that
probably in his memoir. Probably
what's that?
His memoir. Maybe in his book or his memoir.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you heard what Mark said about Hank Brennan, right?
Yeah.
He said, respectfully, sir, go F yourself.
I love it.
It was beautiful.
So
but yeah, I feel like I want to say thanks to Heather Honey. Heather Honey is our content creator from Alabama. I think,
cool.
Are you going on her channel?
I am. I was going to mention that. I put
Please.
it in the chat. November 2nd. So I'll be going on. We're going to be doing a little episode. So yes, if you want to post your channel so everybody can go like and subscribe.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. It's facts, opinions, and something. I always get
There's
the last
something
one.
wrong.
Yes. Oh, here it is. There we go. Oh no, that's
that
LTL
was
Media.
LTL.
That's the
Yes,
our other.
Go
thank
like
you.
and subscribe too.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
She's getting statted, but yeah, she's one of those folks, Brian, that happened to have been there the last time I came up. There was a woman named Jan Sears that brought her 90-year-old mom up from Mississippi to go and stand out at the courthouse, and they showed up at the meal of food, and Heather Honey from Alabama. So obviously, when you hear that Southern accent out in front of Dedham Courthouse, everyone's like, whoa, you know what I mean? It was really cool. I mean, they're very, very dedicated. And then Lindsay from Texas was there as well. And Lindsay's been up, I don't know, 4 times, 5 times.
5, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was for me, very profound. I'm a really introvert type of person. I can be very extrovert on my channel, but I'm normally a pretty introverted person. And I think that people just get misunderstood by me sometimes. I try to be extremely private as much as I can. And I mean, to be honest with you, like, listen, I have my own social, issues and, you know, g- go through my own mental health struggles. And I've been very open and honest about that I think that everybody should have some type of mental health, outlook in their life if they choose to do so, or at least a good friend to, someone to talk to. I started seeking. I did had mental health pretty much through my entire life, and then in my 20s and 30s I dropped it and decided to go start reinvesting in myself again about a year ago, and I've gone through significant changes in the last year. I have a great mental health counselor, and what I'm getting to the point here is I think people get misconstrued sometimes by me, where like, oh, I met him and he wasn't like warm or fuzzy and didn't come up. And it's not that I don't want to do those things, is that I'm afraid most of the time, and it takes me a little while to warm up to people. I.e., listen, DJ's asked me to come on the show quite a few times. It's not any disrespect out of him. It's just that it takes me a little while to kind of warm up and try to figure, people out, I guess. Listen, we all go through situations where we've been kind of burned in our life and we want to kind of figure people out before we start opening up a little bit. And it will happen again. We go through it. And not saying that you guys were going to burn me, but I'm just saying, like, I don't mean anything by it. It's just I'm a kind of a quirky guy sometimes in public, and public kind of scares me. So
Well, let me say, these things happen in life, and sometimes we wish we would have acted a certain way in
Yeah.
a certain situation, and it turns out that we acted another way. I've done that and am guilty of it on many, many occasions. And so we hold no grudges. And we're happy to connect with you. The one
Yeah, of
thing
course.
I really can't stand are bullies and bullying and
Yeah.
people that are in general full of shit. And I'm not going to call out any particular content creators here. They know who they are. And when I saw that, I immediately called my co-host here, and I talk about everything that I do with her, and said, man, I see what they're doing with Brian. And even though I've not had a friendship with Brian, I want to defend him. And we did a show about Enrique, and that's where we start talking about you and defending the things that you've done and supporting your efforts. Even if we had differences, it didn't matter. It mattered that we knew where your heart was at, and the things that you did were real and had real benefits to people like Karen and Turtleboy, and Enrique. And so that's what really matters. That you made a mistake. Well, shoot, I've made mistakes even this weekend in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Even in my hometown, when I was in my hometown, I made mistakes. So that's okay. I just learn from them. I acknowledge them, and I grow from them. So it's a
And like
pleasure
DJ
and an
says,
honor.
if you're
Yes, ma'am.
not growing, you might as well just, you got to learn, and everything's a learning experience, and good for you for, knowing what you need to get the help you need, because again, it's about moving forward. It's, maybe next time you see this person again, it'll be different, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay
Yes.
to get the help you need. And, you know what? This too shall pass.
Listen, there's no playbook to doing any of this. We learn on the
No.
fly. And believe me, like, if you've never been through these situations, some people are more experienced at it than it is. All the basic it all came down to was I just wanted to help in whatever way that I could transpose the things that were coming into my mind and feed that back to my audience and the people out there. I tried to get out to connect with people on the ground. I was very, vocal about that and very visual about that, because I felt like those are the people that are making this movement, the movement run, that core people down in Dedham standing out every Sunday. And, I just felt like I don't know. I just felt like I had to be part of that connection and maybe bridge that gap between creators and the ground. I didn't want to feel like there was that separation. And I tried. And a lot of people just didn't want me there after a while. So I was like, okay, it's cool. Like, I get it. And I don't know. I just feel like I didn't think it was going to get like this. I didn't think it was like going to get like this. I just, if people weren't jiving and people didn't like other people's channels, then just go your own way and talk whatever you want to talk about. And if you want to collaborate, then collaborate, and again, I'm not perfect. I did and said things, and I reached out to the people privately and had conversations. I'll be vocal, and I'm sure that he wouldn't mind this. Mike and I had a little bit of friction throughout this whole thing, and we've talked, several times, and I've gave Mike a ton of credit at the Karen Reed benefit dinner that I was at. No one was talking to me, and he came right up to me and said, "Hey," and we started having a conversation. We squashed things over, and then I don't know, it was just like kind of this like weird tension that him and I should have just talked about. And I called him up a couple of weeks ago. I talked to him like a man to man. We settled our differences, and we're good. Like, we're on good terms. And I support Mike. I think he does a great job with Kelsey's support. He's been doing a great job through Karen, and he's a good-hearted dude. Like, just, you can tell he has the best intentions. Every time I've talked to him, he's never changed. It's always the same person that you talk to. And, he's a good dude. So I support him. And I don't know. I just, like I said, it just, I think many years ago, I probably would have screamed and yelled and got up and all that shit. And I'm just not that type of
growth.
person.
That's
I'm not
growth
that type of
right
person anymore. Like, you probably just not gonna get that reaction. And people see that as me being soft and whatever.
Shit.
Call me whatever you want. Like, I just honestly,
Yeah.
I don't have the time for it. Like, I have a time to map out the show that I want to do, talk about the topic that I want to talk about. I have a career. I go to work, I get up in the morning, I got to go to my job, and, and I only have so much time in between that to catch up on everything. So I can't tackle all of the things that are either talked about or fight all the battles that are fought throughout the day or whatever the hell it is. Just a lot of this stuff just doesn't interest me. But if someone needs my support or help and I see something that is wrong, I will jump in and speak up about it. And that's really the type of person that I've kind of become. I was a very angry teenager. I used to lash out a lot and scream and get in fights, and, and a lot of that shit, carried through my 20s. And then you get kind of into your 30s and you start settling down. And now I'm getting close to my 50s. So I just don't want to waste the energy on that shit anymore, And look, there's been some brutal stuff that has been said about me. And I just can only say, you are the audience, you are the eyes, and you have to make the choices about that stuff. And if you decide that you want to roll with it and you think that, then that's your right to do that. If you don't agree with it, then I welcome you to come over and hang out on my channel, but it only comes to a certain point where someone or group of people, whatever it may be, continues to pile on. And this is what I don't understand. They pile on you. I mean, listen, I've been called the C word for 3 months straight. I've been
Not
called
to your
the C
face,
word.
though.
Not to my face.
They can say
But
it on YouTube.
If I say one thing, if I say one,
yeah,
if I say one thing back, I'm the jerk off because I'm defending myself at that point. But I'm the one that gets piled on because I said something. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
But anyway,
So yeah,
I don't want it to turn into this. I'm sorry. This is,
no.
But can I say something? Okay.
I want to say something about.
And they'll clip it and talk about this.
I don't
and
care.
It's
Let 'em
fine. I don't really give a shit.
Let them clip
I
it.
don't care anymore.
Like I said, people, everybody can run their mouth until, you know, we're face to face, and then we could figure out another way to settle it. But here's the thing. The thing is this, is that YouTube, I mean, I've been on air for 15 years. I've been on YouTube for 4 years, but podcast before that. And I am not famous. We are not famous. So I don't
I'm
really
no
know.
one.
No,
I am
yeah,
no one.
I don't want to make like I'm not famous. Okay,
I
but
ain't shit. And
but
you know
what
what? Everybody else, you know, like we're just a little tiny
exactly.
microcosm in the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Emily Baker has like, you know, 780,000 subscribers
Yeah.
or whatever the hell it is. But here's the thing.
She's
The
great,
thing
by the
is
way.
that YouTube fame, subscribers, likes, super chats, all the positive reinforcement is an intoxicant the way that alcohol or marijuana or other substances, edibles are an intoxicant. And if you internalize too much intoxicants, what happens to you?
Yeah,
You
you get
drunk. You get impaired.
wild. Yeah.
Right. And so when we're impaired is when sometimes we can act like somebody that's not ourselves. We can get competitive. I've gotten competitive before with
of
a
course.
creator. We can act in ways that are not out of our character because, as you said earlier about 10 minutes ago, that there's no handbook that prepares you for YouTube fame. We saw what happened between Sean and Turtleboy. We've seen it with others, and that is what happens is you can drink in all this fame, you become intoxicated, and you probably are acting in a way that is not commensurate with your normal modicum, your normal behaviors. So that is what I think all of us as content creators, look out for yourself. Make sure that you're trying to treat people in a way that you know you would just in regular life.
Yeah.
Not treating them based on how many subscribers, how many likes, how many
Right.
followers they have on Twitter. How can they help my channel? Just treat people in a way that they treat you with the modicum of respect that they seem like they deserve based on the character that you can see, that you can sense. So that's all I have. Bia, go ahead, my friend.
I was going to say the first day I met Brian, it was on the sidewalk in Dedham. We were at a standout, and I had just finished hearing from Jen Root, her brother's story, as we've covered it on this show, Just on Root. And I went up to Brian, and because she didn't want to, she was like, "Oh, it would be so nice if Brian could cover this." And I was like, "I'll go up to him." So I went up to Brian, and he's live streaming from the sidewalk. And I'm like, "Brian, this is Jen Root. Have you heard about her brother's story?" When I tell you, Brian turned around and, you know, just listened to Jen, heard the story, got the little card she gave him, and, you know, within, I don't want to say weeks, days, he was having her on the show and going over it because, you know, and I think obviously I connected with that story because I've lost a brother. I know you have, and you've been public about that. So
Yeah.
I think when you hear Justin's story and you know that maybe there was a possibility that a different outcome could have happened, you know, it hurts. You know, I know you felt it. I know I felt it. And you were more than receptive to listening to her and, you know, having her on and help spread the word. So that was my first interaction. We've had several interactions on the sidewalks of Dedham, over at Norfolk County DA's office. But, you know, I think give yourself some grace. I think keep working on what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working on yourself and try to block out the noise, because when I tell you, the people that dislike you are just so minor. And I know that it hits you harder, but just always remember, those that care. And that means so much more.
Of course, I just I guess I came here to just try to help, like I just came here to help, and that's it. And listen, people are going to like you, people are going to hate you. It is what it is. And I just try to get up every morning, put my 2 feet on the ground and be the best person that I can be, and whatever, how that ever translates to the world, then that's it. Whatever the energy that I can put out that day, that's what it is. And, again, no one is perfect in life. We all make mistakes. I like people that take ownership in things and they apologize. And I've done a lot of that lately, and I've mended a lot of relationships on the other side of all of this. And I don't know, I think that we still have a lot of work to continue to do here in the state. And by the way, I love all the very positive comments. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I was even just honest with my audience. Like, I had to kind of reground myself. Like, I felt like I was turning into someone that I am not, I had to kind of reground myself. And I thought by, coming back home and kind of bringing things back down, and I was just getting too nutty. Like, I was working a shit ton. I was trying to like prepare 4 shows a week and live stream. And I mean, a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, you guys see us when we click the go button, but behind the scenes, we do a lot of work. I mean, we're show prepping and putting notes. And then, I have my weekly spots with Todd and Nan that come on every Monday night. It's like I'm prepping for them, or I'm doing a slide presentation that we're going to bring up, and I got to catch them up to speed. And, it's a lot of work doing this. And I have great support behind the scenes. Believe me, I have a lot of people that I can really, really trust, that I know are like true friends that I've made out of this, and people that I can lean on in support. And it's been really positive. And I hope that we can all get back to like positivity, because we're all kind of like, it's funny, we're all talking about the same cases here. And a lot of us are based in Massachusetts. And I've always preached this too on my channel, is like, we're all better together in a group. And we're all like,
Yes.
and we all, when you all work together, everybody benefits out of everything, everybody benefits in some way.
There's a saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. So
of course. Yeah. I mean, and everybody benefits in that way. And getting out to a bigger, greater audience. I mean, look, right. For Christ's sakes, look what we did with, Karen's case. And I say we, meaning everybody that had a platform, everybody that stood out in front of that courthouse, everybody that stood out in Denham, the person that was probably in Wichita, Kansas, that stood on a corner with one sign and was probably the single sole person there over the, over that weekend. And, and that was like something that I got kind of clowned on too. When I said, we did it, Tommy. That's an emotional moment. Like we're standing out in front of the courthouse, Karen and her team come down that staircase out front of the courthouse. It literally, like, everybody said this that was there, it looked like a movie. It was insane. It was a very emotional moment. People, come through it. Literally, I thought I was watching a movie. You see people come through that barrier, they pull the barriers back. There's 2,000-3,000 people in the streets, all cheering. You've just fought for someone, and I gave 2 years of my life. Like, I lost friends and a relationship, and but it was all to continue to keep spreading the word that Karen Reed did not do this, and we need to find justice for John. And you get wrapped up in that emotional moment. I'm not afraid. Like, I'm not afraid to show emotion, and when I said that we did it, it was encompassing every single person that took up a sign, had a channel, wrote a blog, whatever it may be, did something to support Karen, fundraiser, donated, whatever it may be. And I've heard that come out of thousands of people's mouths. I've heard that come out of other content creators' mouths too. But for some reason, that sticks with me, and I get clowned about it. So another thing.
Who cares?
And one of those other things.
Yeah, people. Yeah, I mean, people are gonna just, haters. They wish they could have a moment where they make a profound statement, and since they don't, then they'll just have a laugh at yours.
And thank you to my colleague Mo that he doesn't work with us anymore, but Mo switched his shift with me because he knew how important it was for me to be out in front of that courthouse. And I got people at work so ingrained in this case, they would come to me every day and say, what's going on now in the, what's going on in the trial? Give us an update. They weren't so much in trial 1, but trial 2, they were asking every single day. And my colleague at the time, Mo, like I said, knew it was very important for me to be there. And he said, I will switch my shift with you. Go out and be there, and be there when Karen is acquitted. How cool is that? That's
awesome.
So cool. Yeah. I will ever be so grateful to Mo to doing that for me. That was really cool. So
I had people at work too out here in Colorado that were tracking it, and when it happened, and it was just what a great day that was. I'll never forget that.
it was awesome.
I wanted to play something. This is going to be kind of a difficult topic, but Mike wanted me to broadcast this tonight, and so because of that, it's Mikey. We got to do it. So this is a friend. This gentleman's name, let's add him to the stage, is what's his name again? Road Steamer. I can't think of his name now. I will find his chat when I come up on here. Oh, Robbie Road Steamer. Okay.
I'm just gonna step away for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to wait? I'll wait till you come back to play it then.
It's gonna be like
Go
2
ahead.
seconds.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. We only got a few minutes left. So yeah, I got to play this for Mikey. It basically, it's going to be about one of Mikey's friends that was detained. He was speaking his piece. So I want you to think like Turtleboy and the megaphone right now, if I can. So think Turtleboy, megaphone, ICE agents were there. He was speaking, he was singing, and he got arrested. And what are we upset with regard to Turtleboy? We are upset that that Turtleboy was speaking his mind. He was saying what we all wanted to say, and they arrested him. Hello, Positive Pathways. Welcome. And Joy Schmehar, I will try to get Brian to put his email in the chat. And if not, you know what? Bia, can you research his, I believe it's on his YouTube channel, LTL Media. He has his, you know what? I can find it, I think, in my own Calling All Beings, LTL. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat for you, my friend.
Sorry, I had to feed my pet brontosaurus.
You know what? That is the most important. I mean, who doesn't have a brontosaurus these days? I mean, come on, Brian. You got to do something a little bit original. Okay, this is Brian's email.
Well, I have a pterodactyl too, but
there is Brian's email. Let's talk live. You know what? The secret to Jurassic Park, I think, is at Brian's house. My God.
Part 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah, you melted that amber, and then you were able to get the DNA, string it together, and you were able to hatch another dinosaur. Yeah. All right. So this right here is one of Mikey's friends, and we'll discuss here in a second. Those that want to get a hold of Brian, his email's now in the chat. Here we go. Let's go.
Oh, here they come. They're not ready for primetime players. Woo! Demolition.
Hello, what are you doing? He's talking? What? He's just talking.
Whoa.
Hell yeah, let's have a good time today. It's about peace and love in spite of ice. If you hate brown people and you are a Nazi, come on, Ice, leave Portland. Oh, here they come. They're not ready for primetime players. Woo! Demolition.
Okay, so we had a chance to see it. Let's discuss. Go ahead, Bia.
Wow, scary times. Scary times.
Because why? What did you?
Well, he wasn't doing anything. What did he do? He was speaking out. I just speechless.
That's it. I heard he was released. Mikey told me that he was released. There's actually another video he sent me where Robbie was serenading a cop, which was kind of cool. And I will play that for you as well. Brian, what's your reaction to what you just saw?
Hey, I guess free speech is not free.
I guess not, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I guess not. Yeah, we got that, Martha. Thank you for Mart's Creek Rex. Yes, I know he had been released, but Mikey wanted me to show this, and so I'm showing it because it is another infringement on free speech. The way that Turtleboy experienced is the same thing that is exactly what you just saw Robbie doing. Now, as a guy, I'm a retired military guy. I don't like seeing police wearing military gear out on the streets with masks, hiding their identity, because what we like is when there are body cams, when we can see name tapes, badge numbers that we can then refer to. If you got agents out there in ABUs or multicams, we'll call them multicams for the purposes of everybody in the audience that are out there, arresting people like that are masked. That's a problem. That's kind of like what you would see in Mexico, that you might see by the Bopi in Brazil or something like that. I'm not comfortable. So let further reaction be on anything.
No, I mean, it's just, this world is just scary these days. It's like so somebody said that he went over a no trespass line by 1 foot.
Oh, was that okay? Okay.
So then Scotty said, so trespassing, I guess, was the charge.
Okay. Oh, so that
Can you
was
play the
it.
video
Okay.
back? Can you play the video
Sure.
again? I want to see if we could see the line. Let's take a look.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will.
I want to see.
And I'm trying to
Where's
get the other one
line?
where
Is there
he
an actual
serenades the
physical
cop, because I
line?
feel.
That's what I want to see. Is there a
Hi,
physical?
Tammy. Tammy lives in Colorado as well. I'm in Colorado Springs.
Nice.
Let me go here. So I've met a couple
Rocky
people
Mountain
here from
High.
Colorado. Okay, can you guys see it? We good?
Yeah, I want to see if there's
Hello,
is there a
what are you doing,
physical
Scotty?
line.
What? He was just talking.
Can you go back?
Yeah, it's going to.
No.
It's going to
Okay,
replay in a second.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, let's have a good time today.
that's the
It's
plot
about
of my
peace and
movie.
love in spite of might. If you hate brown people and you are a Nazi, come on, Ice, leave Portland. Oh, here they come. They're not ready for primetime players. Woo! Demolition.
I see government property right there, the
the
blue
blue
line, and he
line.
was not past the blue line.
Right.
What? He was just
I think they
talking.
got pissed off because see that these guys are
No.
literally kitted up like special forces guys.
Yeah. Interesting.
Those guys are literally kitted up like special forces guys.
Yeah, it didn't look like he passed that blue line. If that's the line, I saw another line just before that too. I don't know if that's the line. I mean, I don't. It's interesting.
Well, that one said this is government property. That blue line
Yeah.
said government property, and he was not beyond
Clearly a
that line.
foot behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, wait. Let me grab the other one because you guys might get a kick out of. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this link over to. I tried. By the way, Brian, I know you know StreamYard has allowed us to use Apple, and I tried unsuccessfully to do that. To use it with Safari and all that. Actually, you may not even have an Apple computer, but
I don't. I have a PC, but I'm going to tell you one thing, and I've been saying this about StreamYard, and I don't know why they don't do it. StreamYard, if you're listening, give us the opportunity to queue multiple tabs. Meaning, if there's 5 articles that you're going to share, why can we not just queue those and then just push on
switch
the
to each
tab
one?
that's queued? Because it makes a more seamless presentation. I hate this whole like, oh, hold on, guys. I got to share my screen. So I got to get off this tab and then I got to share a new tab. Just let us queue. They let us queue people in the background, which is odd, but they don't let us queue tabs. Anyway, I digress.
Can I give you another one, Brian? I also would want my co-host. Now, Nathan, the co-creator of Calling All Beings, is the owner of this channel. I'm a team member. But if we could have 2 more team members, I could have Julie, our moderator, able to put things up on the screen.
Right.
And and I can't do that. They have no power to do anything on
weird.
StreamYard.
So weird.
Yeah, please listen to us. Come on, StreamYard. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go.
You got a cop car. I want a ticket to anywhere. We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or you can die this way. So remember we were driving in your cop car. Speed so fast like we were drunk. It was a nice day at the parade with your arms around my shoulder again. And I had a feeling feeling that I belong. I had a feeling I could be someone. Solo.
Oh, this
Is that your cop car?
It sure is.
Let's go.
I can't go.
Let's go.
I can't go. Gotta make sure all these
Let's go to
steaks are
Pappy's
safe.
Pizza. Let's make some mistakes. You're amazing.
I appreciate it. I think your guitar playing's amazing.
You got a cop car.
isn't that cool?
At least she had a good sense of humor about it.
She did, man. So I mean,
Let's go get some pizza.
Let's go to
Let's go make some mistakes.
Let's go make some mistakes.
Robbie Road
Is that your
Steamer.
car? Is that your cop car?
That was awesome.
Thank you, Mikey, for sharing that. Mike, can we come? Give me the accent. Say it, Bia.
Crawford.
Mike Crawford.
Crawford.
Yeah, I love it.
Crawford.
So that was great stuff. Joy Schmehar is going to email you about something, and it's about time to get out of here. Let's get some final thoughts around the panel here. Bia, final
Okay.
thoughts.
Ladies first. All right. So thank you for coming on, Brian. I think I think you just have to keep being you, and don't block out the noise, and keep working on yourself.
Do your shit.
Do your shit. You're doing a great job.
Do your shit.
You bring great content, and if we can just look past any judgments, you're here to try to do better, spread the word on these cases, and just keep being you. And thanks again for coming on. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon. And that's about it.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate you all having me here. It's been a lot of fun. It's nice to laugh once in a while. You know what I mean? To get up and laugh with some friends and smile a little bit, given the stuff that we do talk about is very serious stuff and people's lives are either at stake or in jeopardy.
Yeah.
But to have a little bit of a human moment and sit back and smile, I kind of needed this today. Listen, we go through like whatever we do in our day, working, taking care of our families or whatever. But if we can get online a little bit sometimes and de-stress and talk about issues that are very important to us and have a laugh every once in a while, that's what makes all these things great.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, speaking of funny moments, when we had Nick Rocco on, I had like one of those shirts that looks like a tuxedo. It's a t-shirt. And I played The Godfather. I don't remember what you played in that one. Do you remember, Bia, when we had Nick Rocco? So I played the theme from The Godfather to start off. And I said, hey, Nicky, I'm going to make him an offer. He couldn't refuse. So we did that one. And then when we had James Jackson on, we both dressed like gangbangers. We were looking like Bloods from LA in the 80s. So we both had red bandanas on. I had like the do-rag style, and we played the theme from Colors. You know that movie?
Yeah.
With Ice-T.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have some laughs on this show. And then it was funny because that one, JF Go goes, hey, why you guys all ganged up? You trying to make fun of our... I'm like, no, it's just this. We do have some satire on Cab along with our very serious things. And if you heard some of my episodes where I am like screaming at Proctor, I actually thanked I thanked Jen McCabe. I thanked Kelly Deaver, name said incorrectly on purpose. I thanked, who else did I thank? Proctor. And I thanked Katie McLaughlin. And I said, I want to thank you guys on behalf of Calling All Beings, a sincere and heartfelt thank you, because you guys are such transparent liars. You helped to free Karen Reed. And for that, I am eternally grateful, because the jury saw right through all of you. So Thank you. Thank you. Due to your performances on the witness stand, Karen Reed is free. Thank you, Jen McCabe. So we did that. And I've screamed about, one of the things I've screamed about on this show is that there are elements, what we've seen in the overly and egregiously deferential treatment given to Brian Albert and others, by Proctor, by the DA and so forth, that it looks more like England than New England.
Yeah.
This is why people wanted to leave England. They hated the fact that unless you were from a prominent family, you were a member of the court, you were an earl with a certain amount of land, or a duke, you know, or a count in if we're on the European continent, that is who had power, and it serfs like us would be completely ignored. The whole premise behind these courageous individuals like John Adams and so forth, who spurned on this revolution that was born in Massachusetts, was for it to be New England, not England. And they've turned it back to England again.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, for a state that basically, you know, revolted against the government, you know, 200 and some plus years ago, you know, to fight back, some wise old dudes jumped on a boat and dropped a bunch of tea into the harbor and, you know, fought back against tyranny. And we've become one of the most authoritative, you know, tyrant states that just are run by so much political corruption in the state of Massachusetts. It's insane that like history just flopped over itself and we're right back to where we were 200 and something plus years ago. You know,
Yes.
It's become an authoritative state again, controlled by these crooked judges and crooked law enforcement. And I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to have platforms like this and have the bigger discussions and, you know, peel back the curtain and pull back the curtain and show the wizard. You know, that's something that wasn't done in this state for a very long time. And, you know, I even say in the sense of like, even I would say like the local mainstream media is kind of getting hip to it now too. Great reporters like Ted Daniel, just exposing shit all the time.
Yes.
You know, and figuring it out. Like, this is what people want to see. This is people want to hear. But I just don't get it, you know, in the sense of the people that just continuously get voted in over and over and over again. I'm like, they are the problem people.
Yes.
Maybe you want to try that person over there, you know, and this is where I always say on my channel as well, too. And I won't get into too many politics here, but, you know, everybody just worries every 4 years of who the president's going to be. Who's the president? People, listen to me. It ain't gonna freaking matter. Okay.
Right.
That is geopolitics. Worry yourself about who is running your local area, who is running your town, who is running your state. That is what matters, because you have to live here. And if you find that these people are not doing the right things for your town, your city, your state, look into it. Find out who your candidates are. And if you don't like it, get out and vote. Don't sit there and wait until after an election and then jump on Facebook and get in your group and start crying about it. Get out and vote for people in your local area that you want running your town, your city, your state.
Yeah, you have to want the law and the law and whether it's civic law, criminal law, to be applied equally. You don't want to live in a society where there are the elites like the Alberts that are given a special treatment, because again, that's England. That's what they don't want. That's why there are a lot of people in England who don't even like having the royals around. I also have a lot of friends who actually love the symbolism of the royals, but the royals do not run the country. In doing this, in re-electing a Chris Albert and dirtbags like this who just get away with things, you are then perpetuating this cycle of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking, of favoritism, of deference, of, I mean, literally, they covered up the murder of a police officer. What's beyond that, folks?
Yeah.
Now they're going to try to indict a police officer, and they've just ruined this woman's life in the exact same manner that they've done to Karen Reed. Maybe not the exact same manner because it's not a frame up, but the conditions were put into place for her to lose her mind and for her to end up getting shot And what's going to happen? Now she's losing her home. Now she's losing her career. She's lost her child. She's lost her relationship. Is starting to actually sound like Karen Reed, actually.
Yeah.
Right. So this Monday, if you can join us at JJ Grimsby's in Stoneham, we're going to be having a fundraiser for Kelsey. So if anybody can make it or help spread the word, we'd love to see you there. We have some great people coming.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, at least I all right. And tomorrow night, what do you got coming up, Bia?
All right. I got the Mom's number 2 episode. Yeah, we're going to be talking about unknown numbers. Yeah.
And
So-
tell them like just how nuts this is.
This is a catfish story, and you won't believe who was behind it all.
It is insane.
It wasn't me.
It was
It
not
wasn't
Brian.
Brian.
In
Not
case
Brian.
any of you are wondering, it was not
Not
Brian
me.
LTL.
No,
Let's
it
go
wasn't me.
check it out on Netflix. Have you seen this, Brian? Unknown Number on Netflix?
No, you know what I just got done? I just got done watching Monster, the Ed Gein story, and that is wild.
I was scared to watch it.
It will whack you out in the first like 3 minutes of the whole series. It is wild, and it will pull you in. And it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat series.
And there's also another one on Netflix. It's about true hauntings, and it's about a kid from New York who went to an upstate. It shows the resourcefulness of college kids, and I went to Dean College, and I was like messaging my teammates about this. This kid in 1984 went to Geneseo College in way upstate New York, and it turned out there was a haunting in his dorm in Erie Hall. I know, of all things, not like named after Lake Erie Hall. And it turns out that before the internet, going and researching records and going to the library, they found out a revolutionary soldier was captured and tortured in the running trail.
Wow.
This kid was he was a cross-country athlete on scholarship to Geneseo, and they found the area. There was a plaque buried in the forest where he was tortured. He was the one that was haunting the dorm. This kid went out and met that entity face to face and asked it to leave, and it did.
Interesting.
It's wild. It's wild. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank obviously our guest, Brian LTL, and I would like to thank Brian. It was a pleasure having you on. I hope we can have you on again and maybe do something ridiculous and make you laugh again. That would be nice.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go,
Yes,
can
sir.
I just do a quick shout out, or
Please.
just to get some eyes on a case. I just want to do a quick update. There's I've been following the case of inmate Robert Brooks, and if people are not, if I can really quick, he was an inmate up in Marcy Correctional Facility back in December that was beaten to death by 10 COs.
Yes.
And basically what happened was their cameras in any type of situation when they came in contact with an inmate were supposed to be turned on. Well, they did not turn on their cameras in Robert's case, but 4 of them triggered and actually caught this
You
beating
can see it.
in murder of Robert Brooks. 3 of them decided, 3 of the COs, actually 4 of them, 3 of them right now are currently in a case. There was closing arguments for the defense and the prosecution today. There's no way that these defendants are going to get out of this. I hope that they get every single ounce of punishment that come their way. Robert Brooks did not deserve this, even though Robert did some wrong things in his life, but he did not deserve to die this way. And I just want to let everybody know, please look up the story. You can check it out on my channel if you like. If not, there's plenty of articles. The case now is in the jury's hands. And hopefully tomorrow we get a verdict and these 3 scumbags go away for the rest of their lives. Tomorrow night, late on my channel, I will be going through the closing arguments for both sides, and hopefully we have a verdict tomorrow. So please, justice for Robert Brooks. This is a very important case, and this can never, ever happen to anybody ever again.
No, and there's been too many of these. I think Serial Podcast did a whole thing about this, about how people in custody were beaten and so forth, and we just can't have that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Brian LTL, go check him out, LTL Media. He has a great show, a very professional show. He is the one who actually has a studio. You can go live and be there, be a guest live with Brian. So thank you so much, sir. On behalf of LTL Media, Bia, Scott McGinnis, and of course, the bell of the ball, Jules, this is DJ saying peace out, one love, and we will see you down the road.